and Koltanova. Now then, the woman furthest away from the camera, Paola Espinosa, has really been flying the flag for Mexican diving for a number of years now. She's the darling of the diving fans in that country. Diving with Tatiana Ortiz these days.
Yeah, the 2009 highball champion.
Oh, and Espinosa just went.
Yeah, did you see that entry? Completely rips the dive, no splash at all. And Ortiz, you see a big splash being thrown up, just hitting the water slightly at different times. I wonder if that'll be picked up by the synchro coaches. Open pike position, locking out the arms. You can see the tension in the body as they hit the water at just under 40 miles an hour.
Frightening. 45 for Mexico. So at the moment, the score's consistently around the mid-40s for this final. Espinosa and Ortiz. Espinosa, the world-class diver of this pair. Unfortunately for them, not quite able to get the marks in that first round. There's Espinosa.
Reverse dive in the pike position. Yeah, it's going to score well. Again, Ortiz just a little bit of splash on the entry, but technically these divers are good. Strong jump, quick pike, like the slide out. Just slightly loose in the back, Ortiz, as she reaches for her hands. Great dive from Espinosa. So they'll score well, should be over 50 points. Oh, very close.
Nearly.
Yeah, Ortiz down there on the 7.5s, that hasn't helped.
Yeah, that's what's holding it. Teams all smiling and chatting with each other. It's good to see. Paola Espinosa then, furthest away from the camera. Tatiana Ortiz nearest as they begin their campaign in the difficult dive phase.
In with 3.5 somersaults in the tuck position. Just need to get the right jump, not be too close. If you fall away too far, you don't finish high enough for your entry. Big splash up there again by Ortiz. If you just to work on those entries, it will definitely help with the scores. Espinosa in with 3.5 on the right-hand side. You can see the lockout very good, which has helped with that entry. So very little splash from Espinosa, but Ortiz, big splash. It's probably gone up about 3 meters. So there should be a variance on the execution scores, and there are. So Espinosa 7.5 at 8, and just 6.5 for Ortiz.
Mexico. 4th round dive for them, 7th position. Paola Espinosa has been diving beautifully, as you would expect, but I'm afraid Tatiana Ortiz, with her lack of experience, just lagging behind, and that's cost them on the marks.
3.3, their most difficult dive, back 3.5 somersaults, tuck.
Espinosa furthest away.
Ortiz kicks out too early, arches her back and drops short to vertical, so really low scores for her. Espinosa, a good back 3.5, but again, doesn't get that solid entry that she normally gets, and she's thrown up splash as well, but she definitely had the best of the individual dives. Synchronization isn't too bad, so you can see a variance of scores.
Yes, indeed, the execution once again for Ortiz is down. And it really has hurt. While everybody else was trying to be positive, he was looking away in horror, I think. Not been a great final for the Russians, and with such a proud tradition as well. For Espinosa and Ortiz, well, I'm afraid, again, you can find a direct correlation between the marks they have and the diver, and it is Ortiz that hasn't quite nailed her entries in this final.
Same dive to finish, 3.2 degree of difficulty. Oh, and yet again, another miss. Well, what a shame. There's the 1.5 twist and the lockout, and dropping very, very short of vertical. So the arm's not swinging fast enough at the beginning, so the legs don't come up for the twist, and then the re-pike down didn't happen for Ortiz.
So 298.80, still good enough to go past.